Hi, VencoreWeather.com, meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, November 15th. The weather pattern is certainly becoming quite interesting. Looks like we have another Arctic shot coming into the Mid-Atlantic region over the weekend. It'll certainly be quite cold and windy on Sunday, and that chill will continue into the early part of next week. In fact, most if not all of next week looks colder than normal for this time of the year, right through Thanksgiving week, and there's even the chance for some snow in the northeastern part of the country later next week, in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. All just speculation phase at this time, but it's certainly on the table. We've talked over the past several days about a high latitude blocking pattern that will set up over the next several days, specifically abnormally high pressure situated over northern Canada and Greenland starting this weekend right through next week. Almost ensures a colder than normal week next weekend, pretty much ensures colder than normal for the remainder of the month of November. Well, let's start off by looking at these 500 millibar height anomalies going forward, because again, a high latitude blocking pattern will set up the same time that high pressure forms over the northern Canada and Greenland and sticks around. A deep upper level trough will develop over the eastern U.S. Here we are right now, starting today, early this morning, and we'll move ahead in 6-hour increments. These maps from tropicaltidbits.com. This is from the ensemble run of the GFS last night at 6Z. Let's just keep moving forward. Notice here, the upper part of this image here, this is Greenland, below normal heights at this particular time. That's a key change coming up over the next several days. This is where we look for high latitude blocking to set up. Northern Canada, Greenland, even Iceland is where you can get very abnormal high pressure this time of the year, and that in turn allows for cold air outbreaks to drop into the central and eastern U.S. Let's just keep moving forward and focus in on this part of North America. Here we are now by Friday morning. Pretty cold in the northeast, by the way, on Friday. We'll talk about that in a moment or two. But notice now some oranges starting to appear over the weekend. We're into late Friday night, early Saturday morning right now. Orange on this particular map represents above normal heights, above normal pressure, and again, this is where we look for a high latitude blocking situation to develop. And here we go. By the latter part of the weekend at the same time, Arctic air is pushing into the Mid-Atlantic region. Deep upper level trough sets up over the eastern U.S. and orange here, abnormally high heights, high pressure compared to normal, sets up over Greenland, and it just sits there for several days. Notice this deep upper level trough over the eastern U.S., high latitude blocking here over northern Canada and Greenland. And let's just move forward. Here we are into Monday. Now Tuesday, similar pattern here all the way through next week. This tends to just reinforce itself with an additional cold air outbreak. That too is a consequence of a high latitude blocking. You have sustained cold air in the eastern part of the country. And here we are by the middle of next week, still high pressure over Greenland and upper level trough. And indeed, this will become quite interesting. By the second half of next week, there'll be another frontal system headed towards the east coast, and there very well could be some moisture involved. Too early to pinpoint that, but snow is on the table for at least parts of the northeast U.S. during the second half of next week. Here we are on Thanksgiving Day. Still high latitude blocking over Greenland. This is next Thursday. Deep upper level trough over the eastern U.S. And this is very impressive for an ensemble run to show this dramatic of a blocking situation along with trough over the east. And here we are finally into Friday of next week, still below normal heights in the eastern U.S. and above normal pressure or heights over northern Canada and Greenland. Quite an interesting upper level pattern setting up for the next week or two. Well, let's now walk through the maps from the 6Z GFS model run for the 850 temperature anomalies. 850 millibars is around a couple thousand feet up in the atmosphere. It certainly is a good reflection of what will happen at the surface where we live. This is right now, Wednesday morning, starting off very chilly here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Frost in many areas early this morning, and it'll only rebound to about 50 degrees, which is not too bad compared to recent days, but still below normal for this time of the year. Let's just keep moving forward here in 6-hour increments. By tomorrow morning, excuse me, back to normal, maybe even a little bit milder than the past couple of days, into the mid-50s. But another cold shot is coming. This is kind of a sneaky cold shot, not the Arctic blast coming this weekend, but another frontal system will make a difference. Excuse me, winds will pick up tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, and we'll drop to near 30 or 32 degrees by early Friday morning in the immediate I-95 corridor. Let's move forward here. Colder than normal air moves in tomorrow night. Again, the wind will become quite noticeable tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night out of the northwest, and it stays chilly on Friday. Then there's a little bit of a warm-up coming by the early part of the weekend, and here by the time we get into Saturday morning, we'll get back to normal, perhaps even a little bit above normal. Certainly milder on Saturday, ahead of the next frontal system compared to Friday, which will be a cold day. But showers are quite likely as an Arctic front starts to drop southeastward across the Great Lakes into the eastern U.S. And by Saturday night, the winds will pick up and we'll start to feel the effects of the next Arctic blast. Here we are early Saturday. Let's keep moving forward. All that cold air headed our way from the northern plains. And here we go by Sunday morning. We are in the next Arctic blast. Winds will be quite strong. Partly sunny skies, windy, much colder than normal for this time of the year. This next Arctic event, Arctic blast, looks like it'll become a pretty impressive lake effect. Causing snow near the Great Lakes, just downwind of the Great Lakes. Maybe even a snow shower can make it all the way into the I-95 corridor. But again, cold air this time of the year crossing over the still relatively warm Great Lakes can produce some snow showers and snow squalls. Places like Buffalo, Erie, those kind of places. And again, there may be a snow shower that sneaks in over the mountains into the immediate I-95 corridor. This cold shot remains right into the early part of next week, and watch what happens. With that high latitude blocking, we may moderate for a brief time by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, but when you have blocking like that, it usually results in additional cold air outbreaks. And here we are by Wednesday of next week, another strong frontal system will be headed into the eastern U.S. Lots of colder than normal air into the Midwest by Wednesday, and all that moves into the Mid-Atlantic region by Thanksgiving Day, next Thursday. And again, there are signs that this frontal system may activate the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe some moisture pulls out of the Gulf of Mexico. Too early to say, but snow is on the table for parts, at least parts of the northeast U.S. during the latter part of next week. We're talking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. Well, finally, let's walk through the surface forecast maps from the 6Z GFS model run. This is this morning, Wednesday morning. Again, a frosty start. We'll moderate some this afternoon to 50, 52 degrees for highs. Still below normal for this time of the year, but let's move ahead. And here we have a frontal system coming through. Later on tonight, there can be some rain showers in the I-95 corridor, primarily after midnight into tomorrow morning. And then notice the winds, notice the isobars tighten up here by early tomorrow afternoon. The wind will become quite noticeable out of the northwest tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night, and this will usher in quite a cold air mass. We'll be down near 30 or 32 degrees by early Friday morning. Friday, the winds lighten up, but it remains colder than normal for this time of year, no better than the 40s. And then we'll start to look to the northwest. Another frontal system, an Arctic blast, crosses the Great Lakes on Saturday into the Mid-Atlantic region Saturday night with some rain showers ahead of it. A little bit milder on Saturday compared to Friday. And then by the time Sunday rolls around, strong northwest winds, some snow showers, snow squall activity in and around the Great Lakes region. Again, there may be a snow shower that makes it across the mountains. Basically, quite cold and windy for Sunday, and it'll stay cold right into the beginning part of next week and pretty much through Thanksgiving week and perhaps even right towards the end of the month of November. It looks like a colder than normal pattern. Snow is something we'll have to monitor. The possibility exists later next week in the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.